Although the smart devices make it really quick to check your pulse, I actually really like checking it manually, just checking it with your fingers. So, some of the observations you can make, and you can even do that right now as you're listening, is to go ahead and detect your pulse on your wrist. And you can go ahead and do a count of what your pulse is. So, since I'm on the podcast, I can run a timer for you. So, when I start talking again, you can actually count how many beats you got, and that's your pulse. So, we'll give it a few more seconds. Okay, and start counting your pulse right now. And stop. So, whatever number you counted out, you'll multiply that by two. So, for me, my pulse during that pulse checking exercise was 78. So, you can just make a note of your pulse. One of my favorite exercises to do is to then repeat your pulse, but to do it while you're breathing mindfully. So, while taking big, strong inhales in through your belly and into your chest, and then exhaling. So, we can practice just a good cleansing breath together. So, you inhale and fill up the belly, then the chest, and hold for a second, and then let it out. And you can exhale through your mouth or your nose and your mouth. But maybe doing that 2 or 3 times, just big inhales and then exhales. And then we can play with checking our pulse again, but now let's do it by taking those deep, conscious cleansing breaths. So let's start counting now. Okay, so whatever number you got, you can multiply that by two, and that's your new resting pulse with deep breaths. So, what did you notice? So, for myself, I noticed that when I was talking and thinking and taking my pulse, my resting pulse was 78, maybe closer to 80. But when I slowed down and took deep breaths and attempt to relax my shoulders and my neck, my pulse rate fell down to 68. So, one of my favorite things to do with people is to measure that pulse. And it's actually even an exercise, it's an Ayurvedic pulse check where you observe the quality of your pulse, if it feels strong and bounding or if it feels weak and thready. You just make observations as you check your pulse. And this is a great way to get a good detection of what your heart's doing. So, you can do things like throughout your day, check your pulse manually. And if it's bounding and fast, it kind of helps you to connect to how you're feeling. You might be feeling stressed, you don't realize it. Or if you check it in the afternoon, it's kind of slow and weak, they may tell you that, oh, I'm getting really tired and fatigued during the end of the day. So, that pulse check, one of my favorites holistic heart health activities.